For the final showdown, we're in France. Southwest of Paris, Ernee, on the border of Brittany. And Joel SMETS, a winner here back in 1998 in the 500cc Grand Prix. Previous winners here also include 1990, the late Donny Schmidt won the first ever Grand Prix here, a 125 race for Suzuki on his way to beating this guy, Stefan EVERTS, to a World Championship. Stefan hasn't been beaten by anybody this time around, although he only qualified in 4th place because he's also going for 125 and 650cc Grand Prix glory here at Ernee in front of an absolutely packed hillside full of fans. Oh, an absolutely broadside through the inside of the first turn goes Stefan EVERTS, and I think he's emerged at the front. He's already won the 125cc Grand Prix, so he's won 70 Grand Prix now in his amazing career, and he's going for 2 more here. Number 16, Andrea Bartolini, contesting the 125cc World Championship, in which he finished 2nd, making a guest appearance in the Motocross Grand Prix, but not a very successful one here in France. He goes down in that pile-up. Stefan EVERTS leads. 2nd place for Brian Jorgensen. And Tanel Leok, the 18-year-old wild Estonian kid out of 125 GPs, also suffers a painful introduction to Motocross Grand Prix competition. I think I may have mistaken Vincent Turpin for Brian Jorgensen. Turpin is right there in 2nd place, ahead of Joel SMETS, but only briefly. Jorgensen 4th, Strybos 5th, Gunderson 6th. Christophe Martin, yet another Frenchman in the top 10. But Dick Turpin showing that perhaps that was no fluke. That whole shot at the last round in the Czech Republic. Here he is, lying a 3rd place in front of his home crowd, what every Frenchman desires. The course commentator will be giving it everything. Allez, 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 as they always do when a Frenchman's somewhere near the front. Or better still, at the front. But right now, at the front is Stefan EVERTS, and he's already got a pretty considerable lead as number 33, James Noble, on the RWJ Honda hits problems on one of the uphills. Tricky. Actually, I think it might be on one of the downhills, and he's managed to spin it round, judging by that anxious marshal facing our way. EVERTS untroubled by everything behind him. He lost out to Greg Albertine in 1994 here in a 250 Grand Prix. In 1999, the victor for Kawasaki was Marnicq BERVOETS. Josh Coppins chasing Kevin Strybos down one of these magnificent downhills. This valley has all the course laid out on one side, all the spectators laid out on the other. They can see all the action. Strybos fending off Coppins. Number 12, Kenneth Gunderson, is right with them. Oh, Josh Coppins steamrollers inside Strybos, but look at the way the youngster retaliates. He's just been gaining in confidence all the time. He wants that 9th place in the championship. He's fighting for it with the Cass Honda duo of Yoshi Tsuta and Gordon Crockhart. And at the moment, he has the advantage. Teenage tearaway Strybos, Suzuki, ahead of Josh Coppins in 6th place, Kenneth Gunderson 7th. This is all-out French Grand Prix action. The spiritual home of motocross, some of the finest tracks you can begin to imagine across the whole of this fabulous country. Internationals used to earn big money for people in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, began to fade away in the 90s in France. But they've left their legacy of wonderful Grand Prix circuits, and Joel SMETS is in trouble! SMETS is in trouble, desperately trying to restart his 450 KTM. He clinched the 650cc world title, his 5th world title in the Czech Republic, the same day as Stefan EVERTS got his hands firmly on the Motocross Grand Prix Championship. But not having a very happy time here, down in unlucky 13th place. And of course, he's still got the 650 GP to come here at Ernee, in which he'll have to take on Stefan EVERTS for the first time, because Michele Rinaldi has persuaded EVERTS to have a go at racing for the 650 Grand Prix and perhaps acquire his 72nd Motocross Grand Prix win. Josh Coppins tries to squeeze underneath. Jorgenson just takes that inside rut and says, no, no way. Dick Turpin in front of the two of them. Amazing downhill plunge, much steeper than it looks. Look at the race control building here at Ernee. Just a fantastic permanent facility. Strybos, behind him, Patrick Caps on the Brewforce Racing KTM, who's got the better of number 12, Kenneth Gunderson. And Caps, the 26-year-old from the A's, just getting better and better in the closing stages of the season. Caps up to 6th place in the race. Lies in 13th place in the championship. Or at least he can move into 13th place in the championship at the expense of James Dobb if he gets some good points here. And the way that he's dealing with Kevin Strybos, that looks likely to happen. Half distance, 20 minutes gone, 15 plus 2 remaining. Patrick Caps versus Kevin Strybos. The perfect French motocross Grand Prix circuit here at Ernee. Oh, Kevin Strybos determined to demolish our cameras there. A really wild line up the hill. Josh Coppins has got the better of Vincent Turpin. It had to happen eventually. But he hasn't got the better of number 30, Brian Jorgenson. Yogi Bear still there. Caps, Strybos, Gunderson. Second place still for Brian Jorgenson. This season just keeps getting better. And he hold off Josh Coppins, who also has had a remarkable second half of the season in his comeback. And Coppins could almost certainly finish in 12th place in the championship at the end of today. He could even move one better. He's not far off eclipsing his teammate at Casse Honda, Gordon Crockard, who's labouring relatively downfield in this race. And here's Patrick Caps. Was that an attempted T-bone or what? I wonder if she put him up to it. Caps then, desperate, truly desperate to get past Vincent Turpin. This time he makes the move. This time he forces him into the bank, virtually into the paling fencing, and said, thank you very much, I need to get past. Turpin obviously beginning to get a bit defensive now. He glanced across at Kevin Strybos and just let him go through. Behind him now, Marnicq BERVOETS, winner here for Kawasaki in 1999, is also threatening the Frenchman, and the two Motorex Yanda Group Kawasaki's are right there behind him. Ernee often produces this sort of wild, open racing. It's not letting us down. Caps, BERVOETS, the two Motorex Kawasaki's nailed together. Gunderson ahead of McFarlane. And Turpin in danger from all of them. Number 3, Joel SMETS is right up on the back of them as well. Oh, Marnicq BERVOETS gets really stuffed by Gunderson. He's just lost a bit of traction on that short, sharp uphill. And the Norwegian needed no second invitation. He was through. Kenneth Gunderson rampaging through the mid-pack here. Marnicq BERVOETS just behind him on the L&M Rinaldi Yamaha. Andrew McFarlane on the second of the Yanda Group Motorex Kawasaki's. And Joel SMETS adopting the same tight line uphill as Kevin Strybos as he whistles past our cameras. Ahead of all this activity, of course, Stefan EVERTS is sitting at the front, knowing that he's already been crowned world champion. He's heading for his 71st Grand Prix win, and he's got the 650cc class to come. See if he can make it 72. Turpin, oh, Kenneth Gunderson, how clever was that? At the last possible second he switched lines, but Turpin fights back. Gunderson retaliates, and this time makes it stick. BERVOETS has a grandstand view. Look at that! Andrew McFarlane just launched himself inside Turpin, but it was too much, too far. He wipes the furious Frenchman out and wipes himself out as well. Ernee, action. French Motocross Grand Prix action. She doesn't know where to look next. Meanwhile, at the front, completely in control of proceedings, Stefan EVERTS. He's won his 70th Grand Prix in the 125cc race earlier in the day. Kevin Strybos, the surviving Motor X Kawasaki right behind him, Kenneth Gunderson. And the fight for third place. Patrick Capps closing the gap on Josh Coppins. Brewforce Racing KTM's Patrick Capps looking for his best finish of the season. Coppins still there in third place. Along the veranda at the top of this magnificent circuit, and then the first of the major downhill drops there. At the bottom, you swing round to the left, and you head straight back up the side of the valley. 15 laps complete. Jorgenson secure in second place. SMETS putting the pressure on Marnicq BERVOETS. How often have these two men raced together? It's remarkable. Gordon Crockard in 12th place. That should be good enough to preserve his 11th place in the championship ahead of teammate Josh Coppins. That, of course, scant consolation for the newly crowned British Open champion. This season, a litany of injuries which have completely thrown off course his attempts to win a world championship for the UK. Never mind Gordon, all next year to come. 2 laps remaining. Joel SMETS still, as ever, on the gas, forcing the pace. But not quite able to get on terms with BERVOETS, who tips underneath. Kenneth Gunderson catches the Norwegian by surprise. Now has Kevin Strybos in his sights. Here comes SMETS, wondering if he can also do the Norwegian rider on the green Kawasaki. And he duly does. Kenneth makes a sort of half-hearted riposte, but it's not strong enough. Joel SMETS is through. Meanwhile, on his way uphill and well beyond, Stefan EVERTS in the lead. This is Kevin Strybos, that dramatic line. SMETS decides not to take it this time. The second of the 252 strokes in the race, Kenneth Gunderson. 7th place now for Joel SMETS. Recovering from yet another of those small mistakes that have rather spoiled his results in the end. But Stefan EVERTS, well, not since those first 3 Grand Prix when Michael Pichon got the better of him have we seen Stefan really make any errors at all. He's just been immaculate. He can almost afford to stop and shake his fans by the hand. He's about to roll across the finishing line to win Grand Prix number 71, confirm his status as the World Motocross Grand Prix champion, his 7th title in 12 years. Josh Coppins coming round the final bend. He crosses the line in 3rd place behind Brian Jorgenson, but still ahead of the gallant Patrick Capps. Stefan EVERTS once again the winner, and he is congratulated by runner-up Brian Jorgenson. Well done, bud. That then was the final Motocross Grand Prix of 2003, and Stefan EVERTS, would you believe, went on to win his 72nd Grand Prix race in the 650cc class when he defeated World 650 champ Joel SMETS. EVERTS then wins the championship eventually by 40 clear points, and off the leaderboard, Yoshi Itsuta is 10th ahead of teammates Gordon Crockard and Josh Coppins.